So our demo day is going to feature some amazing speakers who are doing incredible work. Demo days have always been an opportunity for us to really highlight the incredible work, again, that's already happening in our community. So we want to share with you all some of the amazing things that our speakers are doing. They're going to go through fast and furious. You'll hear a little bit more about that. But why EdTech for CBC? Well, as you guys all know, there have been a lot of challenges with CBC and with the rollout. And that's not unique to Kenya. That is with any competency-based curriculum pretty much all over the world. But we wanted to ask the question, what is the opportunity for EdTech to actually help and support the rollout of the CBC? And so that's why we wanted to talk with our speakers and with all of you today about what's possible. So if you are not a speaker today, but you're working on something that's related to EdTech for CBC, please share your innovation in the chat as well. We're going to capture all of this. We'll share it out to our broader community after this conversation. So please feel free to send it a link or a short overview into the chat, and definitely dive in with your thoughts and questions when we have that opportunity. To kick us off, I'm going to share a quick poll. Excuse me, I'm recovering from a cold, guys, so forgive my voice. I'm going to share a quick poll just to get your thoughts on what actually is the opportunity for EdTech around CBC. So where does EdTech hold the greatest promise for supporting CBC implementation? We pulled out some of the key themes of CBC, and so we'd love to get your ideas, your reactions. Probably tough to pick one choice. We know, we get it, but feel free to jump in, add your thoughts, add your perspective on what is really the power of EdTech as we think about CBC implementation. Sorry again. I'm going to give us just a minute to fill out that survey. As we do, I'm going to introduce just an idea so that you guys keep it in the back of your mind. One of the rituals that we do with EdTech East Africa is we have a ritual called Asks and Offers. And so Asks and Offers centers around, again, some of the values that I talked about earlier. So as we come to the close of today's conversation, we will have an opportunity for people to either come off mute or drop those asks and offers in the chat. So please do be thinking about that in the back of your mind. An ask might be something like, I'm looking to hire talent and I really need a UX designer. So anybody who's interested in that, please send folks my way. Or it might be something like, I'm really interested in expanding to Uganda and I would love contacts of organizations that I could connect with in that space. Or an offer might look like something like, I have a great event coming up and I'd really like to include the members of this community to be a part of that conversation. So keep things like that in your mind, and then we will capture all of that and then share it out again to the broader community at the end of our session. I'm going to go ahead and end our poll here and just give you a sense of where people see the promise for some of this. So a lot of folks focusing on the formative assessment side. I think that makes a lot of sense, but it does look like we've got some folks that think they're not just around formative assessment. We've got some really content-based solutions, parent and peer engagement opportunities. So we'll continue that conversation. And again, you're going to see some really interesting solutions that come up today. Last but not least, I want to just say happy anniversary to EdTech Nairobi. We are actually this month celebrating 7 years of connecting as a community. So we are so grateful to all of you for being a part of this community and conversations, and we look forward to many more years of doing this together. So congratulations to everyone who has been a part of that. And I am going to stop sharing now. I'm going to kick it over to my colleague, Tracy, who's going to take us forward from here. So Tracy, over to you.
Thanks, Jen. Thank you so much for everything that you told us today. It's good for us to be celebrating 7 years. That's big, big, big. So without further ado, let me get straight to our presenters of the day. We'll be starting with Pedro. Pedro, who's from Critical Links, an education technology provider, designing and developing micro cloud solutions for the education market. And Pedro is an executive with a strong background in EdTech solutions, and developing business and partnership skills, and is the sales and manager of Critical Links in the East Africa, East and Middle East. Oh, okay, Middle East and Africa region. And he'll be taking us through his presentation. Pedro, if I killed your title, and he'll take us through the presentation. So you have 5 minutes, Pedro. Starting now.
Are you listening to me? Yeah, I believe it is.
You're good to go, Pedro.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Hello everyone. Thank you very much for your time. I would like to present to you our company, Critical Links, and our solution C3 Microcloud. So Critical Links is an education technology provider with a global customer footprint. We are leader in designing and develop education microcloud solutions to the education market. We already have more than 15 years developing education microcloud solution, and we are possible to enable more than 10 million students in more than 50 countries. So the main challenge that we see, the potential to create a better world to global learning initiatives has never been greater. The industry and the government expend a lot of money, thousands, even billions of dollars in devices. Could be laptops, tablets, PCs, smartphones, Chromebooks, learning management system for a guided curriculum, or richer media resources. However, these devices need connectivity to access to contents and for the learning process. So without connectivity, these investments are in vain, creating a digital divide. Share the contents to schools could be also a challenge. Over time, the government and the curators develop new contents, and that content has to be distributed to schools and to students. And this could be difficult. So for this challenge, I would like to introduce to you our microcloud, the C3. C3 Microcloud is a self-contained cloud learning platform that can simplify the delivery of digital contents to schools everywhere, independent of internet connectivity and power, availability of people with IT skills. School's location could be urban or remote areas, or the specification of students' device. We overcome the infrastructure of challenge because C3 have embedded Wi-Fi, offline content repository, LMS and App Hub, and students feel live on the internet when they use the C3. It's compatible with any device. The device only needs to have a browser. So it could be a mobile phone, a tablet, a laptop, a Chromebook, a e-board, everything with a browser. So when the connectivity is available, you want to take the most of it possible of this connectivity. How? Through web filtering and through web caching. We improve the internet speed, we accelerate, we optimize the internet speed of the school. So we also have a way to standardize the schools and provide the same content, the same curriculum in every school in a region. So, but the C3 is possible to share all type of contents to all the students, despite the connectivity. Could be online or offline. You just need, the C3 is very intuitive, very simple to use. You just need to drop one of these devices in the classroom and the students immediately could access to all the content that the C3 have. So here we have, for example, some of our features, but I would like to highlight that we can work without internet connectivity, and we can work with internet connectivity, improve the classrooms on this. So let me show you a little bit how you can do this. So we can deploy C3s in the classrooms, and only with the C3s, the students immediately could access to all the content that the C3 have. Could be contents like Khan Academy, Microbit, class application, Wikipedia, books, everything offline on these C3s, and the student immediately could access with this device to the C3. But when you have connectivity to internet, we could improve this user experience through caching, dynamic caching, and through filtering. The students, for example, are only allowed to access to specific contents for specific websites, and the teacher, for example, has the flexibility to go to all the internet. Okay, but we also have this application, the C3 Cloud Control, that is possible to upload contents to the C3s. You can program this uploading for nights or during the weekends without disturb the use of schools during the school's hour. So let me resume to you some of our advantage. So we can work in any school scenario. We have a battery backup as an optional. We provide instant access to local content and applications. We have a way to standardization and equality. We provide a remote management with the C3 Cloud Control, and is a solution very, very simple to use. Just to finalize and just to be clear, we have three different main products: the C3 Classroom, C3 Hybrid, and C3 Schools. The difference of this is the size of the deployment that we can do. Could be in a classroom or could be in a school. So, thank you very much for your time. It was a pleasure to be with you.
Cool. Thank you so much, Pedro, for actually sticking to the time limit. So I have here one question from Mike, and maybe I could read it out, then you could answer it for him. So Mike asks, how does the C3 Classroom compare with Raspberry Pi-based solutions for similar applications?
The main difference from Raspberry Pi could be also a thing like C3, but we have more flexibility because we have a simple solution from the C3C. It is proper for one classroom, and we can go for big schools, even universities, and to cover thousands of users. With this, we have more capacity because we have more storage to allow more contents, and we have more flexibility in terms of the number of users we can use. This is the main difference between us and Raspberry Pi.
All right. One more question here. Actually, Mike says okay, so it seems he's satisfied with your answer.
Thank you.
Another question here from Jen. Can you tell us a story about the rural community you've worked with that have utilized the offline functionality? What was their response?
In a rural community, in most of the cases, they don't have connectivity to the internet. So we could deploy the C3s on that in that village, in that schools, and the students could access to that content. Because when we deployed the C3 already could have some contents or every kind of contents. For example, Wikipedia, Khan Academy, books, everything, without need to go to the internet to upload that kind of content. And imagine if they want from time to time upload new contents, we have several ways to do that. Could go with the C3 to a place with the internet and synchronize with the C3 Cloud Control, or we could go with a simple pen drive and upload new contents to the C3.
Oh God, I've just logged into a meeting, sorry. Yeah, anyway, it's okay.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Doris, maybe could you mute? Thank you. The last question from Nixon, then we move on to Mike. Have you made installations in East Africa or Africa so far?
Yes, we have a lot of projects already done in some, for example, South Africa, even in Kenya, we already made some projects. We have a case study that I could share with you guys. But we have projects, the most projects that we already done is in South Africa, but all over Africa, but we have already done. But I'm here to try to get some new projects with you